Good morning. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. Inside Talk Show, it's an inside job. Life is an inside job. We must learn to live from the inside out, not the outside in. When we live from the outside in, we are a victim to the circumstances, to the people, to the whims, to the emotions. But when we live from the inside, we determine. Hold on to your hopes, your dreams, the good feelings, what you want in life. Both are true. Both are true. What are you focusing on? Are you living from observation, living from the outside with these eyeballs observing? Or are you living from the inside, imagination, from this inner eye? We're continuing the reading of James Allen's book, Out from the Heart. We're on chapter 4, titled Doing and Knowing. We left off yesterday with James Allen letting us know that it's a common error to suppose that the higher life, to really living life in a way that works, is a matter of reading and adopting some theological or metaphysical hypothesis. That spiritual principles can be understood by this method of just gathering knowledge. He went on to say that the higher life is higher living in thought. It's not a gathering of external things, information. It's an internal knowing. It's knowing thyself, going in, getting quiet. Yes, sitting with these books and these things, but then getting quiet and going within and thinking and rolling it around and coming to your own conclusions and your own philosophy of life. Don't accept anyone else's. You might be attracted to it. It might be that gateway and that bridge, but the work is always within on yourself. You are the expert of your life. You know yourself better than anybody else. Well, that's the goal. Continue to study yourself, learn yourself, become more aware. The Power of Awareness. Neville Goddard, such a great book. So he says that this higher life is that inner study. It can only be acquired after just long discipline in the pursuit and practice of virtue. The lesser must be thoroughly grasped and understood before the greater can be known. Practice always precedes real knowledge. This is so important. This is so good. When we look at our model of, where's my little guy? What can I find? Interesting. Oh, I wonder why it's down there. What are you going to do? All right. So when we look at the model of our mind, this silly little stick figure with this big old head represents our mind. It's an image we use to understand the mind. This is our conscious thinking mind, our subconscious emotional or feeling mind. So say this is your mind and it's broken up to two parts, conscious and subconscious. This is our body, and then we get results. In the world of therapy, CBT, we think, we feel, we act, and then we get the results in our life. Very simplistic, obviously. There's a lot of nuances, and each person's individual experience of life is different. But when you look at people's results, it's not hard to see how they're feeling. And how did they get here? Well, what's going on in their conscious mind, whether it be something that they are perpetually creating or something that just keeps getting pushed into their mind. James Allen is saying, so this is all working with the mind. This is all working with the mind, understanding ourselves, a way to grasp it. How can I explain this? I'm trying to use that graph of power versus force by David Hawkins. There's a certain point which we understand with our human mind, with our experience. But then once we get, so as the level of consciousness scales goes, it goes from 0 to 1,000. 0 meaning very low, very dense, very dark, vibratory, emotional feelings and consciousness. 1,000 meaning the highest enlightened master, right? 0 is just a very dark, dense, angry, violent person. And then 1,000 is the highest Christ consciousness, Jesus, Buddha, the highest. And we all rate on this scale. The majority of us fall 200 and below on this scale of 0 to 1,000. The majority of the world, I think 87% or something. I thought I had a picture of it. But somewhere around 499 or 500, according to David Hawkins, on this consciousness scale, 500 and above is kind of that we get into non-duality. We can't describe it. We can't explain it. We can't prove it in the sense. But 499 and below is very dense, 3D, explainable, showable. The way that I understand it, that's helpful right now as of today, this conscious thinking mind, the awareness we have, is the masculine, scientific, provable, logical mind. Then the subconscious universal mind is that higher consciousness. It's illogical. We don't understand it. We can't prove it. We can't see it. And this is what runs the world, our world. And so, but we must understand this before we get to this, if that makes sense. A lot of times in this material, people studying the higher life, the better life, wanting to reach their goals, get rid of their blocks, get rid of their these hindrances, these negative limiting beliefs, these paradigms that hold them back. But to get there, because they all exist here, our negative beliefs, our limiting beliefs, our paradigms that hold us back from this, because remember, whatever's going on in here is what shows up here, not what's in here. But to get here, we must go through here at first to understand it. It's very rare that a 20 or 30 or even a 40-year-old will just randomly start tapping into this very effortless, easy, full of faith, unattached, non-duality way. It happens, but be honest with yourself. Don't expect yourself to just be able to release and float and be in this fully receptive mode without first understanding how to get there. It's both. It's understanding both the duality and the non-duality. We are both. We are both physical and energetic. We must have an understanding, and that's why I love this. I love understanding the mind in a way, and then I can throw it away and then just go into the unconscious. But I speak for myself personally. Perhaps your experience is different. I need that. I need a way to understand. It helps me because I was just running into roadblocks. And I think a lot of people, when they get into the world of making things happen or making their dreams come true or manifesting, really, they give up. They don't understand. They throw their hands up. It doesn't work because they don't understand the first part. And so it's through that understanding that then you can freely go into it. There's a beautiful example I use of like improv, right? We want to be able to improv in the world of manifestation. We want to just be able to improv. But before we can improv right away and just get there and drop in and be totally free, we must first understand the script, so to speak. Until you have that muscle strongly built and have an understanding and awareness, you won't be able to do anything effortlessly. But understand that that work and that training and the building of the muscle is temporary. Then you have a whole lifetime of just freely manifesting. But when you first get into this work and you want to understand why do these people just win? Why are they just making things happen? Why does it seem so easy for them? Consciously or unconsciously, they became aware of the workings of their mind, how they think, how it affects the way they feel and then their actions. There has to be some sort, and choose your way. This way worked for me. And this is the way I teach it. Now it's easier for me to just get there, so to speak, to be released, to let go. So the lesser must be thoroughly grasped and understood before the greater can be known. Practice always precedes real knowledge. The schoolmaster never attempts to teach his pupils the abstract principles of mathematics at the start. He knows that such a method of teaching would be in vain and impossible. I think that's the biggest thing, and this is very specific to the world of manifesting. Say there is a manifesting guru, an absolute manifesting guru. To be able to sit and just ask the students, just do what I do, is futile. And I think that's why people have a lot of problems with it. So the schoolmaster, say it's the guru, the yogi, the person who can just get there right away. If he attempts to teach his pupils this abstract principle of just being there at the start, it's pointless, and it's just going to let your students boom their heads against the wall because it's abstract. It's above the 500, right? You're there, you're in non-duality, you're in the zone. But to understand how to get there, you must understand these lesser, grasp what we're working with. And that's temporary. We don't have to stay in this lower, dark, dense, understanding, logical place. That's just a start. It's like a physical stepping stone to get into the infinite. But you can't just expect people to get into the infinite. Maybe some freaking avatar that's highly intelligent, maybe I'm just low EQ or whatever. But for me, I'm just speaking, and if you resonate with this, perhaps you've ran into the same thing. Being frustrated that you can't get there, you can't make your dreams come true, you can't manifest. But it's all in awareness. First awareness, all in awareness of how you work, how your mind works. I hope that made sense. So I'll end with this. The schoolmaster never attempts to teach his pupils the abstract principles of mathematics at the start. He knows that such a method of teaching would be in vain and learning impossible. He first places before them a simple sum, and having explained it, leaves them to do it. So simple. When, after repeated failures and ever renewed effort, they have succeeded in doing it correctly, a more difficult task is set before them, and then another and another. It is not until the pupils have, through many years of diligent application, mastered all the lessons in arithmetic, that he attempts to unfold to them the underlying mathematical principles. This is with math, it takes years. But when it takes ourselves, if you're going to sit there and want to get from zero to freaking, high ups and super consciousness and really make things manifest easily, it's like wanting to be at the foot of Mount Everest and wanting to be at the top. One shot. The likelihood of that is not very large. But it doesn't mean you're not going to get there. It just means go to base camp 1. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Understand. Then base camp 2, then base camp 3. But people don't want to do that. They don't think they have to. They don't think it's necessary. They think that it's actually against what they're learning. Like, well, I just want to manifest. I just want to be there. Okay, well, let's understand how to get there. It doesn't happen. You don't go from 0 to 100. It's and this is frustration of myself, but thank God I'm understanding power of awareness. I used to beat myself up. Why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? This was the missing link for me of understanding. I'm not going to sit at base camp or the, foot of Mount Everest and beat myself up for not being able to get to Mount Everest at one shot. I'm going to be gentle with myself. I'm going to find a way in, and I found it. I'm at base camp 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm getting there, and I'm getting there. And there's no end, by the way. But don't beat yourself up if you're not there. Just find a way that works, that you get incrementally better, 1% better every day. So start simple, start basic, and then work up to these higher levels. But to put that pressure on yourself to just get there, I mean, you're just setting yourself up for failure and burnout, and then you'll give it all up. I hope that made sense. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Friday. I will see you on Monday.